Hello. Welcome to another episode of In the Wheels, the show that champions all riders from world champs to weekend warriors, where everyone has their story to tell. And today we have the story of Robyn Clay. She's recently signed a deal with Picnic PostNL, having ridden quite incredibly strongly on the domestic scene in the UK. So it's an exciting step up for her, and one that I'm very excited. Yeah, sorry for the tautology, but I just am. I'm excited to see how she gets on this year. It's going to be great, and I just can't wait to see how she goes. So yeah, sit back, enjoy, and listen to me chatting with Robyn Clay. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Just back from a dentist appointment, but all's well. So yeah, fine, thanks.
Oh, I'm glad it went well. We were kind of discussing it off air, and I'm not a dentist fan, but I'm glad you had a good experience this morning. How did you get into cycling? Yeah, that seems like such a basic question, but I think it's really interesting because everyone's got their route in.
Yeah, both of my parents were professional cyclists. I guess my dad is the more well known one. So from a young age, I was riding a bike. I did a little bit of grass track when I was younger, but didn't get old enough to get onto a fixed wheel bike. And then I took up football and every club I could at school. But yeah, my focus was football really until I was about 16. Um, World Champs came to Harrogate in 2019, and that inspired me quite a bit to start riding more. At that point, I was still playing football, and then COVID hit, so I couldn't play football. So yeah, I got on the bike. I was riding a lot more, and then I decided I wanted to continue with cycling. So I quit football partly because the age I was, I would have to join a new team anyway. So I wanted to give cycling a good go. And yeah, I went from there really. So my first race was May 2021.
Wow, that's crazy because, giving it a go has certainly worked out for you. I think, yeah, I don't know whether you'll recognize it, but yeah, I've gone into this awfully, but I'll try and recover it. In 2023, I'd never go to many races in the country, but I went to only two races, and they were Lincoln GP and the Newark GP. Do you know what's special about those two races in 2023?
Yeah, I won both of them.
Yeah, it was such a weird. I was like, do we just show up and Robyn wins? Is that we must be
Yeah,
like
maybe
some
you're my
sort of
good
good
luck
luck charm?
charm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so crazy
Well,
because yeah, and both times it was like I had two daughters back then. I still do, but like I only took the one of them, and yeah, both times we saw you win, which was kind of crazy. Like, how were those? Like, I guess like back in 2021, like, did you take to it like a duck to water, and you're like, oh, this is easy. The results and the placings are coming nicely, or like, yeah, how easily did you find getting into the racing side?
I found actually racing, really enjoyable. I think naturally I'm quite competitive and I like to get stuck in with racing. So that side of things, wasn't hard. Obviously, just the fitness. I had a good level when I started. There's always room for improvement. There still is. But yeah, I think because I wasn't in every race, I wasn't getting my head completely kicked in. That probably helped. But yeah, some races I was. Um, but that's part of sport.
Yeah, yeah, that's definite. So yeah, fast forwarding then to those two races, like, how does it feel to like cross the line, knowing you're going to be first? Like, do you even get time to plan a celebration almost, or is it just like, oh, I guess I will, like, better do something?
um, with Lincoln, I was having a really bad day. So
Really?
from the get go, I wanted to get away and limit my losses. And it just so happened that I was in the right move. Um, it stayed away to the finish. I started hedging my bets a bit and sitting on within the last, I don't know, 3K. Um, a couple of them weren't happy with me, but it wasn't really up to me to do the work at that point. I also, because I knew I was having a bad day, I wanted to save as much as I could for the finish. I was also aware that there was two Cams Basser at the time, I think. Oh, was it? Sorry, Das Hansling at the time.
Hmm.
They were there was two of them there, so I was ready for them to start attacking, which is why I was sat on. But they didn't attack in the end, so yeah, I was nice and fresh for Michael Gate. And then I just went as hard as I could from the bottom, and when I kind of reached the normal tarmac at the top, I kept looking back and I couldn't believe that there was no one there. I was like shaking my head as I was crossing the line, but that one wasn't like a planned celebration. That was just raw, like really excited. It was quite like football esque. And then
Yeah.
similar with Newark, I had a plan where you need to go early at Newark because there's I don't know, like 4 bends before the finish line. So if you get into those bends and just drill it all the way through, you should hopefully stay ahead or at least maybe come second. And I managed to hold off. I think it was Emma Jeffers. So
Hmm.
similar, just more like not a planned celebration, just really excited.
Yeah, 'cause, now you've said it, that kind of that town square bit is horrendous in terms of, I guess, positioning. If you're not at the front, or if you're 15th in the chain going in, you're going to be 15th coming out of it. Like there's no
Yeah,
movement,
yeah. The sprint for the
unless you
line is way
really slow
before the
down.
line. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
sprint
yeah.
for the line is way before the line. The sprint for the finish is really like the fourth corner from the finish. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like if you can sprint and get into it ahead, then you're probably going to win. But you got to, I guess, you still have to see it through. And
yeah,
Emma ran you close, but you got that win. And that was back when you were with, let me get this right, Pro Noctis Heidi Kelson 200 Degrees Coffee.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's a heck of a name. Not very commentator friendly, but
yeah,
it certainly gets noticed. Um, so uh, you were riding for them, and then you moved to Das Hansling. Was it after that season? So 2024, you moved
yeah,
over.
yeah. I
How
was on.
did that?
Yeah, sorry.
Uh, it's all good. I was just going to say, like, how did that move come about? Like, the sort, I guess, contractual discussions. How early in the season were they in touch?
So there was some potential that I could go to a foreign team. There was two potential foreign teams that I could go to, kind of feeder teams. So I was in discussion with them. But still, it would have been a good step forward for me. But still, unsure whether it could happen or not, partly because of Brexit and Schengen rules. But at the time, Pro Noctis needed an answer, and I couldn't give them one. So they went ahead without me, and I joined Das Hansling, which I think was actually a real blessing in disguise. I've really loved being a part of that team.
Yeah, it seems to have done you well as well. Great results. 'Cause you did really well at, I can't remember whether it's this year or last year, so forgive me on that. But you did well at Cap and Ray. You win a stage of the Peaks. You win the Curlew Cup. Like, none of those are easy races, and likewise with Lincoln GP winning that, but also winning Newark, which is more of a flat sprint. Like, I guess the question is, like, how do you see yourself as a rider? Because I'm from your Palmares, I'm struggling to put you in a box.
Yeah, me too. I'd say uh, I like a time trial, but there'll always be people that are stronger. But probably, yeah, I'm still learning, but I would make a guess that it's, yeah, sort of classics rider. Yeah, like hard courses, not crazy hilly, but not flat. Need it to be hard. And then, yeah, I'm not a sprinter, but I can produce a decent sprint at the end of a race. So depends who's there. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess. Isn't it funny though that like your genesis into the sport was kind of through Harrogate, which was like one of the toughest worlds that in terms of like the weather conditions, visions of is that Danish rider? I think it's Price Peterson who like crashed on this time trial bike into a river, like or practically a river because of the rain, and Mads winning in that
mm.
torrential downpour. Like, and it's kind of funny how you've become that sort of rider who would excel on a day like that. But I guess then the question is like, how are you with bad days in terms of weather? Like, do you like it when it's sunny and hot and boiling, you know, yeah, boiling the roads off, or do you like it when it's kind of wet and miserable and cold outside?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I like it when it's wet and miserable, but I do seem to perform well. Yeah, when it's super hot. In the past, I've struggled. I struggled with heat stroke. I raced Portugal um,
Mm.
last season, and yeah, I had heat stroke for the first couple of stages. I got over it eventually. I got used to it, but that was sort of the hottest race I've ever done. I'm from Yorkshire, so I'm not used to hot weather. I didn't spend much time in Spain or anything through winter, so yeah, I really wasn't acclimatized. So yeah, having said that, I'm from Yorkshire, so yeah, it's raining all the time. It's not very warm, especially through winter. So you get used to it, and I think also I have done a lot of group rides as I've been cycling, and that's one of my favourite things to
Mm.
do is group rides. Um, but this group I go out with don't shy away from rain or cold weather, so it kind of forces you to get out and yeah, just get it done. So yeah, maybe I have that sort of edge. But no, I seem to perform well in rubbish conditions.
Well, fingers crossed. I guess you're one of those rare riders who, like, you open the curtains in the hotel and you're like, "Oh yes, it's peeing it down. Great! Like, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
a good ride."
yeah. Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm excited, but I'm like, all right, I can do this.
Yeah, I guess because like for some riders, it's really off-putting. Like, I know myself when it's cold, I feel like I don't ride that quick if I'm cycling in the cold versus if I'm cycling on a hot day. For
Yeah,
whatever reason, I feel like I'm like a mile or two slower than I'm
yeah, and
riding
it's true. Yeah,
on
I think
another
there is
day.
actually. I think there is some science behind it. I think it is slower in the cold. I don't know if it's to do with air
Really?
pressure or whatever, but it actually is slower in the cold. So you're not. It's not just in your head.
Whoa. Which is that just makes cyclocross even weirder because it's like they're riding decent pace, like considering they're having to get off and on
Yeah,
and navigate obstacles and mud and crashes and bike change, like everything. And it's colder, so it's technically slower anyway, and they're still putting out decent. But like, wow.
yeah, it's
Well, I've
impressive.
got a new, a super new admiration for cyclocross. As much as I loved it before, that's even yeah, that's taken it to a new level. Anyway, um, how has this season just gone been for you? I've seen some interesting results that I'd love to talk about, but I want to hear like your take on it first.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this season. Nothing to complain about really. I set out some goals at the start of the year, and I managed to reach all of those goals and more. And I've got a world tour contract at the end of it, so over the moon with it. Yeah,
Yeah, actually, let's talk about that first then. How? kind of to repeat a question from before, like how does that come about? Because for me, I love the kind of behind the scenes things that not everyone knows about contracts, because it's like, I don't know, like I guess sometimes you don't even think how it happens. You're just like, oh, Luis Leon Sanchez now rise for Astana. Cool. I guess that's a thing that's happened. But like, how does it all go down? Like, how early are teams getting in contact and having those discussions with you?
Yeah, so I don't have an agent, so I've
Hmm.
had to do it all off my own back. Yeah, just chasing teams and sending emails, sending text messages. Yeah, contact with Picnic PostNL started. Oh, I don't even know like what year. It was when I was potentially going to go to a feeder team. It was like October. I don't know, 2 years ago. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I did some testing with them and it went well. But I wasn't experienced enough. What I wasn't, yeah, I'd just started racing. I wasn't at that level. I was nowhere near that level. So yeah, there was no chance I'll be joining then. But since then, yeah, I tried to keep in contact. I would message them, give them updates whenever I got good results, or yeah, even just to give them some context as to maybe why I wouldn't be having results, or yeah, just keep in touch, keep them updated because teams don't always see that sort of thing. Like, how would anyone know that I had heat stroke at the start of um, Portugal, or yeah, or if I was injured or whatever it is. So yeah, just to keep in contact with those teams and reach out. But yeah, I guess I got some good results this year. And I think after TT Nationals, that sparked a bit more interest. I think it showed that I could put some power down. And I think that really helped to get me on the team.
Oh, nice. Because yeah, it's like, do you ever like when you are emailing them about a result? Do you ever worry about like being too honest and going, "Oh yeah, I did," like just go with this hypothesis or like this imagined scenario that obviously didn't happen, but say you just rock up at a race and you're like, "Oh yeah, it was awful. Like I missed a move, or like I didn't feel confident in the wheels, so I just kind of fell back and got dropped easily because I was stupid." Or like, do you know what I mean? Like, was there ever a risk that you're like, oh, what if I say too much
Yeah,
versus like
yeah.
giving them context?
So I didn't give them a report on every race. It would more be
Mm,
after some good results. So yeah,
yeah.
after Portugal time trial, I came fourth there. Then after like I won a stage of Tour de Femenin, I got in contact. After the national TT time trial, got in contact. And then I would maybe give a bit of context to what I've been doing leading up to that, whether it was a smooth run or whether I've had some problems. But and even last year when I had my bad crash, so yeah, I messaged after Portugal and then I said, I don't know if you know, but I also had
Mm.
this crash and yeah, just to give context. But you want to message as frequently as you can, but also you don't want to annoy them. So yeah, there is a bit of a balance.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And let's talk about the crash then. Like, how did you find coming back from injury? Like, were you quite, I guess, settled and like, because I don't know, I've never experienced it. I've never been a pro cyclist, or even like the best I did was Isle of Man Youth Tour. Like, and even then I was in the 50 placings, not the, not the single digit placings that everyone wants. Um, like, how did you find it? Like, yeah, you've crashed and you're like, okay, I've got to have some time off. Were you quite able to be patient, I guess, or were you like champing at the bit, really wanting to get going as soon as you could?
Yeah, I guess that was my first real test. Like I'd been ill before, but that
Mm.
was different. I broke 4 vertebrae in my collarbone, so that was a bit more serious. But I was also really lucky that I broke 4 vertebrae, but as far as that goes, it wasn't that bad, and I was able to be back on the bike within 2 weeks. So yeah, 2 weeks off. it felt rubbish at the time, but yeah, then all of a sudden I was back racing within 6 weeks, and you're like, oh wow, it's done really quickly. At the time, it feels terrible, but yeah, the time flies, and it ends soon enough. So yeah, I was back racing after 6 weeks. My first race was Ronde van Wijnswald, Nat B, and I won the second stage, or the first road stage. So yeah, I was really happy with that. I was, yeah, I was over the moon with that actually. I was a bit scared for the first sort of half an hour. Yeah, because I hadn't been in the wheels for a while. I was just worried I was going to crash again. Um, but yeah, after half an hour of racing, I was sort of, in the right mindset and ready to go.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because I guess that is hard. Like, if you've had that time off and you're like, oh, how do I get comfortable being behind someone? Because, you can control yourself, but you can't really control what other people are going
Yeah,
to do.
yeah. I felt like I
Anyone can
didn't
crash
trust
at any
anyone.
minute, really.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like I didn't really trust anyone, and even so, that the crash was last year, but then even this year, I went to Belgium and I was doing, um, like 4 kermesses, 5 kermesses, and one of them in particular was a proper like sprinters course. It was really sketchy. There was dogs running out on the course, all sorts going on. There was a preem every lap, and it was just like a long, like, I don't know, 2K wide road into this preem. So it was like a pure sprint every lap. And I realised I'd not really been in proper bunch sprints since my crash, and that race shook me up quite a bit. I was just like imagining going into the barriers every time we came round, and and I realised that was something I needed to work on, and I need to keep practicing bunch sprints because the more you do,
Mm.
then the easier it will get. And then I went to Tour de l'Avenir, and I playing more of a domestic role. Um, leading the girls out, doing jobs, getting bottles, all sorts. But I found, I kind of got a lot more confidence back there. I was really getting involved in the lead outs, in the hectic bunch, in the sprint, and I gained a lot of confidence there. So practice makes perfect.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's like, because I guess, how do you find that? Like, I guess, how do you get through? Is it a case of kind of this Yorkshire grit mentality of just, well, I've got to get through it no matter what? Like, this bunch sprint is happening, whether I'm there or not, I'll just get through it. Or like, how do you cope with that?
Yeah, you just have to crack on. I think exposure therapy. I in that one race that I was describing, for the final sprint, I tried something new and basically just let it out for ages because I knew that I would feel safer doing that. But that also taught me like when I need to be at the front, and I was learning lessons from doing that. But I just think you really need to try and just disconnect from what has happened in the past, because what happened, the crash, it was a really bad crash, and it's not the type of crash that happens often. And so you
Mm.
really need to try and disconnect from that and just think about what race you're in now and not what's happened in the past or what could happen. Just think about what is happening. But it's easier said than done. And like I say, I think exposure therapy is the best way.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the Tour de l'Avenir. Like, how do you or how was that race for you? Because like, there's not many under 23 specific women's races because it's just not a side of a sport that's very well developed. I think there should be a better pathway for women because not everyone develops at the same rate, and all the female riders have to go junior straight into elite, and not
Mm.
everyone's going to take to it perfectly straight away, and some of them are going to think, oh, I'm no good, I fluked it as a junior because and now I'm struggling, when clearly that's not the case. Everyone's
Yeah,
talented. It's just you need your own time, your own space. So yeah, how did you find that race?
I was really excited to be selected. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was so excited. I'd already signed for Picnic at that point, so I was quite keen to just go in there and learn how to be a good domestique and learn the trade a little bit before I got into the proper job. So yeah, I was quite excited to just be getting bottles for the girls and trying to lead them out into whatever it was, the sprint, climbs, a sprint point. Yeah, and I think I learned a lot at that race. Also, luckily, I was being a domestique because at that point, physically, I'd just completely cracked. I was just so tired from the season I'd had. I hadn't had a break because I started quite late after an injury. So I didn't really have chance for a break during the season with things like the national series and yeah, busy race schedule. So I was pretty cracked and ready for a rest. So yeah, I wouldn't be getting results even if I wasn't a domestic. So it was good that I was on the job and trying to help the other girls that could get results.
Yeah, but you did get your own results, most notably at you mentioned it earlier, the Tour de Femenin. I don't know why I'm putting it in a French accent because it happened in Czechia, so I've no idea if the accent is appropriate for the race. But yeah, like, what was it like to win? Was it stage? I've got written down stage 3, but it could be a
Yeah,
2. I want
stage
to say
three.
stage 3. I had a fellow Brit, Kate Richardson. Um, yeah, how was that day for you?
It was one of those weird days where I really was up for the win, and I don't know how to describe it, but like that morning, I was really, really nervous for that stage. And usually when I'm nervous, or well, really nervous, it's because I think I could do well. It was raining, so I knew that could play in my favour. I knew that the parkour was hard but not impossible. I knew the finish was technical, finished on cobbles, which also usually suits me. Um, and the original plan, yeah, I had the team behind me and they were going to lead me out, but it just so happened that Kate attacked on this climb and I went with her. And yeah, we got away with two others. Um, we dropped one of them, and then yeah, there was just three of us to the finish, and I managed to hold them both off to the line. And although I like really wanted to win that day, and I did believe it was possible if everything went right, it was still like a crazy feeling. I was like, wow, like I've just won a stage of a UCI race. Like this is crazy. I was really happy, and I was also really happy for Kate because that meant that she was in the leaders jersey, and yeah, she's so deserving of results like that.
Oh, that's awesome. I know, like, I've read your interview with British Continental, which is really interesting, and you said like one of your goals was to get points in 3 different UCI races during the year. Um, I guess I'm curious now about what your goals for next season are because you definitely have this kind of goal setting mindset. I don't know, maybe because of the football background, you love goals. Who knows? But sorry, it's an awful dad joke. But
No, it's
um,
good.
uh, thank you. So yeah, like, what are the goals for 2026 if you can share them? Because I know some people feel quite precious about their goals and not, speaking about them when they've happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you'd have asked me that question at the start of last season, I wouldn't have wanted to tell you my goals. But I think in this case, I have to be realistic with the season ahead, well, the 2 seasons ahead. It's a massive step up for me. And it's just going to be a case of learning and developing and, yeah, trying to do the job to the best of my ability, doing what I'm told. Yeah, and showing that I can be a good teammate. My main goal is just to improve and do my job properly.
Oh, nice. So I guess as a follow up to that, because you've got these 2 years with Picnic PostNL, like, what? Say we're chatting again in 2 years' time. What would you look back and go, oh yeah, this is how I know I've been successful? Like, what is success for you?
It's doing my job. It's like, yeah, if I'm told to lead someone out for whatever, if I've done that, then that's a success. And then anything more, any results that I might get for myself that I'm not expecting, that would just be a bonus. But yeah, as long as I'm doing what I'm told, that's a success to me.
Oh, nice. And you mentioned the R word again, the results. Like, so one question I've started asking guests I find really, really enlightening for me is if I can offer you the following deal, you're allowed to win one race for the rest of your career and that's it. And that is the condition. Like, you win this one race. It can be any race. It could be the Ronde van Rijnswold, like GC. You're not going to win any of the stages, but you're winning GC. Or it could be something wild, like anything. Like, what are you picking and why?
Initially, Amstel Gold came to my head, but then I was thinking if it was just one forever, then I was thinking world champs. But then I was like, probably the Olympic road race. I think that would be crazy because it's not just cycling. Then it's a whole world thing. It's every sport. It's a different thing altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Like, a few people have said the Olympics. I don't know whether it's because I interview mainly British people, and there's that kind of we are more Olympic coded than other countries. I don't know, like especially because cycling doesn't have as much like Olympic legacy, if that makes sense. It's a weird one, isn't it? But yeah, I love
Yeah,
that
more
as an
so on the
answer.
track.
So yeah, definitely. Like the road race is not.
Yeah.
Would you actually go road race or would you go time trial though?
I would want to win the road race, I think. But I mean, I would take
Yeah,
any Olympic medal.
you're not fussy. Like that's brilliant. So yeah, obviously um, you've got this new contract. What's planned for? Have you made any plans? Even do you know what your race calendar's looking like yet? Have you got any of the new kit that you're not allowed to wear until New Year's Day? Like, where are things? Where are things at the moment?
Yeah, I've got my bike and I've got like a few bits and bobs. I've not got any kit yet. Yeah, I won't get that until the new year. I'm still in contract with DAS, so yeah, I won't be wearing any Team Picnic PostNL kit. I've got team camp coming up. I leave tomorrow, so that's a week in Calpe, which is really exciting. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm so excited to get to meet everyone and meet my new teammates, and yeah, it's really exciting. But no, nothing's really. I'm training. I've got my trainer. I know who my DS is, my coach. And I'm involved with the team, but it's not fully started yet. And I don't know what my calendar's looking like really yet.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, because I was discussing this with Seb Grindley, who's riding for Lidl Trek Devo, and we were saying about like the Christmas parties and actually thinking about it, like cycling's such a weird sport because so many transfers happen in October that like your first interaction with a team is the Christmas party almost. It's like, well,
Yeah.
what a way to start a new job is like, well, first things first, party. Then let's get on with the racing. Like, in many ways, I support it. So
Yeah.
hopefully you have an amazing time at whatever Picnic PostNL parties look like. All that's left for me to ask is how can people follow you and keep up with you on social media and see your kind of what you're up to, basically?
I guess just Instagram. Yeah, that's my main outlet. If you want to see my results, then I guess Pro Cycling Stats.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll put that on screen now so that people can find your Instagram nice and easy. We will put it in the show notes as well, just to make it extra easy for people. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did recording. As always, she's clearly a great person, a great rider, and as I said in the intro, like, I can't wait to see how she gets on. So yeah, and until next time, we'll see you around.